you sent a tweet out last week, and I've got it in front of me, so I can read what you said because it's important. You said, "I'm getting fed up with seeing so many racist posts and comments. I'm getting fed up with that. Close friends and people around me saying something all. So many people around me have a platform they're looked up to, yet it comes to racism, they're all silent. I'm fed up and angry. Hashtag Black Lives Matters." Me and Phil somehow have cultivated a platform. Phil's got a magazine. I've got this thing, or we've got this thing rather. And I saw those words and I thought, you're right. I don't really know what to say about these things because I'm a white bloke from Wakefield. I don't experience any racism whatsoever myself personally, of course. But we're allies, Phil, aren't we, about all these things? And we have to, as individuals and certainly as a sport, or rather the other way around, we have to stand by all these people of different backgrounds and ethnicities and whatever and say, no, there's no place for abuse in our sport, no place for abuse in society.
I think every level of society needs to educate itself and understand more as best it can whilst not being able to fully experience what other people are going through and not just dismiss it. And I think it's very easy to say, oh, it's about a statue in Bristol. As far as I can tell, it's nothing to do with that. It's a deeply ingrained sense of injustice that goes back to the empire and imperialism and some really important things that need discussing and opening up in all walks of life. So I think that's the first thing. Educate yourself before you say anything. I think the other thing is we go on in rugby league about being a family sport and we don't ever define that. So it's something very trite that we throw away going, we're all in this together. And then Warrington produce a shirt which pays tribute to BLM, and I think that's a brilliant gesture. You know, that is a club that has taken on board some of the things that are clearly in the public domain at the moment. They're not looking to make money out of it. They're donating any profits to a racism charity. We should all get behind that. And then you start seeing some of the posts when they've announced they're going to do it, some of which are from their own fans. Yeah. And you absolutely have to sit down and say, we're not a family. Or if we are a family, it's not something that we perhaps should be trading on the back of until we know exactly what our family stands for. And what I think is immaterial to what people like Sophie think, because I read a piece this morning about Jordan Turner and how he was stopped and searched for the umpteenth time coming away from the John Smith Stadium, having just played for Huddersfield. And if you don't stand up and protest about stuff like that, and you're not aware that that kind of thing goes on, and you're not prepared to make a stand about that, then we're not doing our job properly. And we need people like Sophie to tell us, with the greatest of our respect, what we need to do, because we can't fully understand it.
Yeah, no, I think having this conversation is important. I think a lot of people shy away from having the conversation, just they don't want to cause offence. When have the conversation, if you cause offence, someone will call you out on it. It's just about apologising, learning from that. Like you said, Warrington posting the shirt, like I applauded them for that, because other teams posted photos in support of Black Lives Matters, but they went above that, did that, they was going to donate to charity, and then to see the comments from people involved in rugby league going against a t-shirt, yeah, that angered me. And we all say rugby league's diverse, it's a family, but is it actually? Like, have we actually looked at it? And I now personally, like after the few weeks, I don't think we are. I think we've got a long way to go. And I think it starts from grassroots right the way up the organisation. The RFL probably do need to do more. There's so many black players, mixed race players within the game. Why are they not, like, there's so many young people, these need to be promoted. Young people need to look up to the likes of Jermaine McGilvray, players like that. They need to look up and be like, okay, I can be the next Jermaine and stuff like that. And that's what I think is really important. We need to start from a young age. We need to get into the likes of Chapeltown, Harrows, places like that, who have a black community, get them involved in the game, because I'm the only mixed race player in the Leeds first team. Like, it's been 3 years and I'm the only mixed race female. And if you look at many of the teams, it is predominantly white. So we do need to market, promote the black players within our game. We need to get them in schools, in clubs, and I think it's an important journey we all need to go on. And it's not just down to the RFL or the likes of Leeds or St Helens. I think it's all working together. And I hope, like, the past few weeks, like, we're having this conversation now, which is important. And I think as long as we continue to do so, I think we are moving in the right direction right now, which is good.
I mean, you'll know, Phil. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, it's not just playing, because, again, listening to people on programs where you can have a deeper debate, maybe a news night or whatever. There's a great podcast out at the moment called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man, which, again, I think if anybody can get hold of that and watch it, it's really, really enlightening for the issues that we probably have never appreciated, who aren't involved in that environment. But it's not just about playing opportunities, it's about senior management opportunities. It's about the RFL having more people themselves who are of an ethnic background. It's about the club managements having chief executives and senior executives from different backgrounds. And I think, again, that's in our sport is merely indicative of society, that if we don't offer greater opportunities to a more diverse group of people, then you're not setting the right lead. And it's not about positive discrimination, because I think that was a phrase that 3 or 4 years ago was a bit of a turn off for people. You know, everything should be on merit. Well, it isn't if your CV is never considered. That's the problem. The issue is that if you don't get the opportunity to be interviewed and prove that you're at the very least the equal, if not the better of the people that are getting the jobs, then you're never going to change anything. So I think we all need to work harder at actually just opening up opportunity to everybody, and we don't.
Yeah, I think, like, I had the opportunity to play in school. How many schools don't even offer the opportunity to rugby league to the children? I think that's one step we need to work on, especially in rugby. But yeah, like you said, black people are discriminated against in not just sport, works of life, and, like, I think that's been proven the past few weeks, and why the statue was pulled down. For me, like, why do we have a statue of a slave trader anyway? And the arguments from that, I think, is just evident of where we need to progress still. But yeah, sport has a huge platform, and I think us involved in rugby league, we have a huge platform to actually change people's minds, get the black community involved in the game, which is why I wrote the tweet, because I know there's people involved in the game who have this platform, and they've not spoke up on the level I personally think they could have done, and that's people I know within the game. Some people who I played again, they've not spoke up, and for me, everyone has a platform, even if that's 1 follower, 2 follower, and yeah, it's an important issue, and I really want to get behind this and help any way I can, moving forward.
What I think made a difference yesterday was Raheem Sterling. Again, I watched his interview, and it's very easy to clip out a headline and put it on social media. If you sit down and watch the full, I think it was 10-15 minutes, there is an example of somebody who clearly a lot of people are going to listen to, actually saying, I might endanger my career, but this is more important. I need to stand up. You know, I've watched England football teams suffer racist abuse, both at home and abroad. We can't blame it solely on, fans in places like Austria or wherever. And we need to get to the point where players leave the field, that people like Raheem do become the leaders and just say, I'm not prepared to put up with that. Nobody should have to put up with that. And we pussyfooted around that too long. Even in rugby league, we make much of the fact that Clive Sullivan was the first Great Britain black captain. Well, that was 1972 when he picked up the World Cup. You know, it wasn't yesterday. And that Ellery Hanley was the first coach. Well, again, you know, that was 1994. There's a whole generation of people that never saw. You know, we need more people now in prominent sporting positions to stand up. You know, it'd be great if Ellery had come out this week and said, "I'm behind Raheem," or, you know, here are some of the reasons why I'm not involved in coaching a top level team at the moment. I think you'll find that my qualifications are as good as anybody else, but I haven't been offered a job for however long. And all of that is debate that we need to have. And, you know, we're not exonerated as rugby league. We're not, you know, just because we've got a couple of very historic milestones doesn't mean that we shouldn't be having this conversation. And we're not. And nobody should die for a cause, but somebody has to be a martyr. And if George Floyd ends up being a martyr when we look back in history, then he hasn't died in vain. And this is a moment where we need to talk about change. And I don't want in any way to feel as though it's the responsibility of people who don't understand to be saying things. It needs to be us supporting people like Sophie. That's the way around it's got to be for me, for it to have any meaning.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's not just the black community that have a voice to speak up. It is about everyone getting on board, everyone educating, everyone saying, no, this is wrong, like this is not allowed to happen anymore. I think that's the only way we will progress. Like, how many generations have we been hoping for change? Like, it's not a new topic, but I'm just hoping like this is the last generation that actually this is the last generation we're going to make a change now. And I hope, like, what happened to George Floyd was disgusting. Like, I think everyone can agree, like, it shouldn't have happened. But like you said, hopefully from the murder of him, we can make a positive change now. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And I think it will take us all coming together and making that next step, which I'm really hopeful for. I think the change, even in a few weeks, is we can see that. So I just hope it continues. And me having a little platform within sport, that's one area I can actually benefit and help. So yeah, that's what I want to work towards, and just doing anything I can to hopefully make a positive change.